Hi, welcome to the Bike Frame G3 Transition Extras video. And just in case you're wondering why I didn't use tubular offset to mark out my transition here, I'm going to explain something to you. If you want to do a simple transition, then the industry standard workflow is to use this tool. So over here in surfaces, tubular offset, and I'm going to just show you kind of first of all the simple solution. So if I wanted to make a fairly small transitional surface, there it is. Just check that you've got your curves on surface on both surface and delete. Now let's get rid of the spurious curves on surface. So that's the root curves on surface, and this one which is also on that surface. So we've got one on that surface and then we've got another one down there to get rid of. Now let's examine our curves on surface, and we can see straight away that whereas this one on the main surface, the major surfaces, looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's a bit short there, but we can extend it there. Whereas on the minor surface, this one, you can see it's all over the place. It's okay till about here, and then this part of it is unusable. Let's have a look up this end. We're probably going to find a problem there as well. And you know, there's sort of a lump there as well, so it's not ideal. That might be okay, but definitely this end it's no use to us at all. So we would need to reproject that. So we would detach it there, put a degree 3 curve across to here, align it there, adjust it here, and then check it with a comb to get the curve on surface. So another way of doing it is to take the 3-point arc like so. Delete keys are H, Y. They're single hotkeys. And now Control Q, which on my keyboard is project, and hide the curve away, which is what I do on a regular basis. This is how I work. Get everything that you don't want out of the view. Okay, and we could build a blend from that. So we need to trim convert, which is Shift Y, my hotkeys there. And I want to change the surface degree on that. So that's done. And delete the old surface. So that is basically a way to prepare for a very simple transition using the kind of industry standard workflow, which is the tubular offset control. And I can see problems already. I can see that this point here I would like to be down there, so that the blend is going to be like so, and it's not, so the blend is going to be very straight at that point. So that again is a problem with the tubular offset. So let's put a blend in there. We'll use a freeform blend just for expediency, and we go to G3, multiple surfaces, Bezier, degree 7, flow controls, default. Check they're on default, otherwise it can take an awful long time to build the blend. So I'm going to delete locators, and we can see there's a problem there, as I predicted. So it hasn't built the blend there because this curve and surface is in the wrong place. It should be right down here, like so. But the rest of the blend doesn't look too bad, does it? So let's put some shading on and examine the blend. Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? You can see a bit of shadowing here. You can see the blend has failed there, but I'm not worried too much about that at the moment. So let's put some evaluation on it. Okay, well, it's not too bad, apart from here. So you need to do a kind of rework in that area to get the blend to build there by, you know, trimming a different profile shape for the foot of the blend. Basically what's wrong here is that the chordal width there is just too short. We'd need the transition to be building up here somewhere and around here. Okay, so that's why you can't use the tubular offset in all situations. You can use it most of the time, and you know, I'm not trying to put you off using it. It's a great tool. And I'll just show you something whilst we're here. You can, with Alias, as long as you've got live history, you can dynamically model. So I'm going to pick move. I'm going to come up here and suspend rebuilds, because if you try and move a freeform blend on a small computer, your computer is just going to freeze on you. So I'm going to move this surface now to a position that's perhaps more advantageous. Turn on my history rebuilds and just see that it's rebuilt quite nicely, hasn't it? Still problems around here. It's not going to cure that problem, is it? So I'm going to suspend rebuilds again, and this time I'm going to scale that surface. So first of all I need Shift E to center the pivot and scale. I'm going to just scale that to make it smaller and move it in a bit. And now I'm going to turn the rebuilds back on again. You can see it's smoother. But we've got a problem there, and we've got a problem there. Now, most of the time I use freeform blend just to get an idea of what the transition is going to look like, and I finish off with a profile blend or with curves and squares. So in other words, patchwork. That's how I finish off the transition. If it's, you know, an important, a complex transition. I want to show you a few things that I didn't have time to show you in this tutorial. Before signing off a piece of work like this, I would pick slide there. I've suspended rebuilds here, because when you've got freeform blend or a profile blend with a direct history, it's going to radically slow down your workflow if you don't suspend history. You can just straighten up those hulls a little bit. So you want to go from that angle to whatever angle you've got here before you finish the job, and that's just a good practice to get into. It gives you even highlights. It wouldn't matter on a tube like this, but it would matter if it was on a panel on a car. Okay, the next thing we're going to do then is look at how we can replace this blend, which is made of multiple surfaces, with less surfaces using a patch layout with squares.